having gone through that and knowing now that compassion can look like just a hug, what does compassion look like to you having gone through this?
Just being sort of accepting of what you've done, your past self,
Yeah.
just because we've all. I used to always say to people like they would write to me and say, I beat somebody
Mhm.
up, I did this, I did that," and I'd be like, I interviewed a guy who said, "Your prisoners are treated as numbers; they're just expected to go back in." But
Right.
somebody doing a CV for them changed their life. Somebody cared, somebody showed compassion to them
Mm,
too.
right.
And I think that's it, is you don't do it to yourself. You'll do it to everybody, to help other people. For
Yeah.
me, it's actually accepting everything that's gone before to what I can do
Yeah.
now.
And sometimes that acceptance is just about being seen, being heard. It doesn't even need to be forgiven. It doesn't even need to be like, erased from the past. It just needs to be seen and heard and understood. And when you understand why you've done what you did, then you can show up for yourself and say, okay, now what can we do together to change it? And
Hmm.
I'm not going to lie to you, man. Like now I'm blessed to be in this position where I've created a successful business, work with so many people around the world, and I have a beautiful relationship and I'm to be married at the end of the year. But all of this came from one very strong place, being able to see myself, why I was doing what I was doing, why I was sabotaging my own life, my relationships, and everything else going in there, and to just give myself the same love, acceptance, compassion that I've been wanting so badly from my own parents, from my own childhood, maybe my friends, and from my community when I was younger. And when I give those things to myself, it's like everything else starts flowing from within me outside. All the answers of what I need to do, the commitment of what I need to take to get to the next level. It's no longer a project or a practice. It now simply becomes a projection of how I feel inside. There is one ultimate truth as human beings, that our life will always be, a life outside will always be a projection of how we feel inside. And
Hmm.
even when it comes to people pleasing and a desire to please people, we please them at the cost of abandoning ourselves because we don't feel like we're valuable inside. So we project that as people pleasing outside. And a lack of commitment for us or self sabotage comes from the lack of our own belief that I'm worthy or valuable enough. And so we project it as unfinished projects. But if we can learn to complete that, if we can learn to go back to those old difficult memories or those wounds and be the parent who instead says, you didn't get into this, like this school project or this football team, instead that's there to pick up a boy when he is in his moments of failures or difficulty or challenges, and swing him around and celebrate. And this boy's like, why the fuck are you celebrating when I didn't like win anything? Because you are worth celebrating just as you fucking exist. And
Hmm.
I want to show you that, and not show you that only when you succeed will you be celebrated, only when you fail will you be reprimanded. That changes a child's life completely. That changes an adult's life completely.
I definitely feel lighter, like it's kind of opened up that well. It's started to kind
Mhm.
of bring. So how often would you do that? Like, is that like a nightly thing? Is that a weekly thing? And then do you journal off it? Because already just now my head's throwing out prompts
Right.
and
Questions and
thinking.
thoughts. Right.
Yeah, what do I start doing with this as it comes up? And
Right.
should is there a way to recover from it, or is that part of the thing that you have to finally feel it to actually
The
deal with it?